Hello everyone, this is Chris, and if you look at the top of my screen, you might notice that it no longer says 1.17, but instead 1.18. Yes, the 1.18 betas have finally officially began for Bedrock Edition, which hopefully means that we'll finally be seeing some of the promises such as the Warden, the Deep Dark, and other types of things inside of betas relatively soon, which is pretty exciting. Like, subscribe, etc., but yeah, let's get into this. So one of the first things you see when loading into the beta is this thing, performance optimization, which recommends either using 8 chunks or using my current setting 14 chunks. Probably because it is experimental and isn't quite optimized yet, but I think for right now we will use 14 chunks and bear the consequences of lower performance. But it looks as though it automatically set me back down to 10 chunks right now, which is kind of weird, giving you that option and taking it away, just sending you down to 10 chunks. But I guess probably in the future we will be seeing some changes to do with render distance. Hopefully we'll get some of our render distance back, but there's no guaranteed yet. But another thing you might notice, apart from the render distance, is the fact that if you load up a brand new world, you might notice that the Caves and Cliffs toggle no longer is here. That is because the Caves and Cliffs generation has now been fully implemented inside of the betas. That means we no longer have access to our old style of generations. So this generation with the ice spikes was loaded inside of the normal 1.17 generation, and I upgraded it, or lack of upgraded it, into the 1.18 generation. And yeah, it does say that biome blending has been seriously worked on, and from the looks of things, it actually does seem fairly good. It feels pretty natural going from one biome to another. There's some not so great places with some parts not generating in quite as well as others, but for the most part, it does seem as though the generation has been smoothed over from 1.17 to 1.18 as best as it can. And literally, as I say that, I find this village which has seen better days, particularly with this one well. The generation from one to another is smoother, but it's not quite perfect. Whether that'll be worked on or not, I'm not exactly sure, but it's good enough at least. And not only has the generation been pretty smooth in terms of your surface generation, it's also been pretty smooth in terms of your underground generation, because now if you load up a world inside of the Caves and Cliffs experimental toggle or non-experimental toggle, now below your old chunks, you actually get the brand new generation. And as you can see, it's a slightly messier than the one we've seen on the surface, but for the most part, it did actually do a fairly decent job at it. But if you've been keeping up with other betas and other snapshot things, you might have already heard of that stuff. So what about some of the newer things? Well, if you notice inside this one cave, now there's a lack of deep slate blobs. Yeah, the deep slate blobs between Y16 and 0 were completely removed. And if I'm honest, I kind of like them. I kind of like them being a slightly better transition from one part of your world to another. But as this one beta, they have been removed, sadly. And it looks like it's been replaced with a whole bunch of granite, diorite, and andesite caves, which, if this was a cave type, I'd actually be kind of okay with it, but, it looks as though there just seems to be a pretty big bug in terms of, them generating in way more frequently than usual. And something else that seems pretty odd is the fact that structures such as mob spawners seem to be completely, cut off. This is just one single strip of a mob spawner which I found, but it's just been entirely and completely cut off. Keep in mind that this is a beta, and betas are subject to change and fix a whole lot of bugs, and it seems as though we're finding quite a lot of them inside this one video. And something else that we should be able to find inside this one beta is now new types of cave surface entrances. Before we basically inside the betas we weren't able to find older cave entrances like we've seen in 1.17, but as this one beta, it apparently states that now we should be able to find them spawning and generating all the way up in the surface now. And I don't know if it's my bad luck or if it's a bug, but I've not been able to find any yet. But as this one beta, they have stated that they should be able to spawn all the way up to the surface now. Whoop, looks like it was just my bad luck, because here's one of the older cave entrances we were very used to in 1.17, but yeah, now as this one beta, they should now be able to generate up all the way up to the surface, as we can see right here. And I could literally list off every single change inside this one beta, such as how the raid bar now changes color, or how the Hero of the Village effect still applies, but yeah, if you want to see every single type of thing inside this one beta, check out the changelog. It's down below the description. But yeah, 1.18 betas have begun, which means that we should be seeing everything that was promised to us hopefully fairly soon. And I am so excited to check out every single thing they have promised whenever it comes out. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.